Yo, what's going on, boys? So today we were doing a pool day like this, right? Had the hoodie on, and we were just pumping iron. And so what was going through my mind? Well, I feel puffy today. My face feels fat. I need to shave. Those are the kind of things that were distracting me from getting into the trance state of a workout. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes our mind is in 100 different places except what actually matters. And so for me, it was like, what do people think of my puffy face today? Literally, I don't know why that was in my head, but that was like my thought. Because it goes back to, I don't like feeling fat. I don't like feeling small. But I want like the best of both worlds, right? You want to fill up those glycogen stores, but you don't want to be soft. And so, yeah, that's what I was kind of dealing with today. And some of us still are worried about what others think about us, okay? I didn't care what anybody thought about me when I was in kindergarten. Maybe I was just an ignorant little kid. But as I grew older, I started to care a whole lot more about what people were saying about me, what they were thinking. I didn't want to be the guy who caused confrontation with other people. I never really liked that. You know, like, I'm not going to try to get into a fight. I don't care. Like, to me, that was like super childish, and I didn't care at all. And I just didn't want to get in trouble in that way. I wanted to be like the best. Like, growing up, I wanted to be like the all-A student. I didn't want to be the one who was in detention. And funny enough, I find myself in detention in like 5th grade after beating somebody up because they wanted to put their valve oil all over my sock, and just continued to taunt me and bully me and stuff. And I finally had enough of it when I was in 5th grade. And so they're like, what happened here? And I didn't actually just beat him up, but it was like, I finally stood up to him, you know? I was like, hey, quit doing that. And then I don't remember exactly what happened. This was a long time ago, but I found myself in the principal's office. Like, I'm not that kind of kid. I'm not the kind of kid that would get into trouble like that on purpose. It was when people would taunt me and irritate me and belittle me like a little kid that really got on to my nerves. You know, it's like, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I think throughout that, time period, as well as middle school, ended up becoming a little bit more, caring what people thought, because I didn't want to be that kid who was like in detention. I found myself in detention a few times in middle school. Why? I think it's because I was riding my bike on property for a little bit. So it's like, when I didn't follow the rules, I got in trouble. That one time I didn't follow the rules. And not that I'm a massive rule follower, but it's like, really? And so you're paraded around campus like you're some sort of horrible person, which wasn't true. And I just hated that connotation. And so, yeah, I started to care a lot what people had to say and what they thought. And when girls would bully me and stuff, it's like, that's like the worst one for a man, is like a girl saying that you're ugly or that you're too much of a nice guy. Okay, a lot of us guys don't want to hear that. I never wanted to hear that. Oh, he's so sweet. Okay, I used to get that a lot. And sure, there's a difference between being sweet and like being walked over like a carpet. But those were the kind of things, you dealt with in those times, especially for me. And so moving forward, I really don't care what anybody has to think anymore. During college and even high school, I started that exposure therapy of, hey, I'm going to go out. I'm going to be a leader here. When I was in the band and I played the trumpet, I was like the first trumpet, whatever you call that, like first part. And we had solos and stuff, and you'd have to perform in front of people multiple times every single year. And that really got exposure therapy for me. And then in college, going and talking to strangers, okay, saying hi to girls, one of the most scariest things in the world, right? That really helped me out a lot. Wearing a gold jacket around campus like I was some sort of VIP person. Super cringy, but at the same time, it really built up that muscle of, I don't really care what you have to think. And I had to fix that back from my middle school years. And the best way to do that was that exposure therapy. And so I'm not going to say that I don't feel those feelings still. Like, even today, I was like, my face feels puffy. I wonder what people think of that. And I have to recenter myself and say, it doesn't matter, because we are here, right? We are here in this moment. Who cares? Maybe you had a little bit more pasta than you should have last night. Okay, big deal. And you recorrect. And so, I don't know. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I felt in this moment today, and just not caring about what other people think. Because typically I can go into any place and be totally confident. Before I used to be shy, a shy kid, didn't want to say hi to people, didn't really want to talk to anybody because, oh, what would happen? Thought people would be, you know, mad at me or something weird. And it's just a weird, you know, playback story you have in your head, which isn't true. And so the gym has started, well, 5 years ago, really started to help me out with that a lot as well, because when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you can act more confident, right? The whole James Bond thing. And so, yeah, I just feel a lot better. And because I put myself into different situations by traveling, by doing things that are unknown, that cause stress and even anxiety of like, I don't know if I can do this, like boarding a plane that you got there late, you know, or a reservation that didn't go your way, and being confident in yourself to be able to handle those moments has really built up my resilience about going into any situation and just owning it, trusting yourself, and having that unbreakable mindset of like, no one cares what you have to say, honestly. I mean, they do, the people you interact with closely, but in the time that I've traveled and gone different places, there are so many people in the world, they don't even remember you, you know? And that's kind of a freeing effect, because then you can be whoever you want. And I found when I went to college that I became the person I really wanted to be versus the person I was like in middle school and high school, where it's like, well, I can't change and be who I really want to be because those people that have known me over the years will think, oh, this guy is trying to be somebody he's not. When in reality, that's who I really was. I was just too scared to bring it out in that moment because of fear of retribution, fear of people like, you know, laughing at you. And now when I think about it, like people laugh at me. Like today, here, I actually have them right here. I wore these boots, super goofy looking. They look like women's boots, but they're really not. They're just rain boots because it was raining today. I'm like, I feel super goofy wearing these, and I didn't care. And I actually brought it up to the surface. Have you ever seen like comedians, right? They like laugh at themselves because it's, if they don't laugh at themselves, like let's say they're fat, if they don't make fun of that in the moment and then don't bring it up, then people are gonna like laugh about it before. So if they can kind of mock themselves, they're free. And so what I did on that was like, I was just laughing at it with some of the coworkers, and then they were laughing too, and it was cool. So instead of reframing, or instead of having the frame in my mind where it's like, oh, this is super, you know, weird and I'm not used to this, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna own it and bring it up to the surface and be like, yeah, look at the boots I'm wearing, how silly these are. And then just like laugh about it and you move on. And so when you own it and have that full confidence about what you're doing, it's so much better than just trying to hide it. And that's something I learned today. So anyway, boys, that's just a little video I wanted to come up with today. It was kind of something on my mind, and just who cares what anybody has to say? And it's very easy for people to just say that, but those are some examples about how I've gone from didn't care to cared to didn't care again. And it's been great. So guys, in a world full of fakeness and deception, keep dominating your reality, becoming the man or woman, if you're on here, that you should be. And we keep pushing forward. So take care. I'll see you in the next video.